I'm Dr. Mandar Bichu. Whenever I walk into a college, I am reminded of those old days of having fun, coming after the post-lunch session and having a nice nap in the classroom. So it's quite a pleasant change that now today I'm standing here and I'll be sharing some of the things that have happened since I've left my college long back. So this is my one word. Here I am the doctor, the child specialist to whom the people come for their health advice and counseling. This is my one identity which my patients know. And then there is another identity outside which many people know as a writer and journalist with more than hundreds of published articles, 5 books, 2 more to come, 2 websites managed. So what happens when these kind of 2 identities clash? It causes an identity crisis. And it causes an identity crisis not in my mind but in people's mind. So what are the typical public reactions when they come to know that yes, this is a doctor who practices regularly but also writes on stuff like movies and music? So lots of question marks, exclamation marks, why, how. And the strangest and what I feel as discriminatory questions which come my way are, doctor, don't you love your profession? Or even, I must share that the TEDx organizing committee sent me an official email asking me that question, that were you forced into medical profession? So I must say that no, I was not. I love my medicine, love my medical profession, but as much as I do that, I'm also equally passionate about my following the other things in life. And that's what is going to be the topic of my talk. That taking up one profession does not mean letting go of passion for other things in life. If you want, you can. You can follow your passion and make a difference. As a writer, I have not only been writing on medical topics or medical experiences. Yes, I have done that too. But in fact, my major part of my writing and the major part of recognition that has come my way is because of my writing on movies and music. So, I will now take you back to my childhood, how these kind of there were the background influences working subconsciously which have played a lot of role in this kind of a transition. This is a place where I was born. It is called NRC Hospital. I come from a place, a small town and industrial colony in Western India, National Rayon Corporation Colony. It was a small colony of about 10,000 people. It was one of the major rayon producers in India in the years when I was growing up. In fact, I spent 16 years of my life in this colony. And we had this, now unfortunately this colony has gone to ruins, and it is really heartbreaking for those of us who had lived there, and we have seen the salad days of that great place. This is the place where I studied till my SSC. This ruinous place was once an active sports club where I learned my games. And this is the place. Our school's cinema hall, come badminton hall, come whatever get-together hall. So here we used to have weekly movies shown in the era of 70s, when you can imagine that today all the channels are giving movies and movie songs everywhere, but in those years the exposure was hardly there. Once in a month, once in 3 months, that used to be the typical frequency of people watching any movies. But in those days also, means right from my childhood when I started understanding, we were exposed to a culture where we were watching movies, enjoying movie songs. So those sights and sounds played a lot of role in my fascination towards that genre. So growing years in NRC colony, where I would describe it, shaped my thinking. It was a laid back utopian modern life. Modern because in spite of that 70s era, we had practically all the modern amenities which that time were not even available to the best of the cities in India. So love for films, music, sports, culture, this was the colony which really cultivated that in the mind. And believe me, we had no contact with English till 5th standard. Means I was in a Marathi medium school. I started learning English alphabets in 5th. I started learning Baba Black Sheep in the 5th. So that was my language development. It started from there. The next major influence I can trace back is my medical college years. Here from 1983 to 1992, I spent 9 years. The college years, as you are experiencing, are magical years. You can get to do lot many things. I also did General Secretary of MARD, which was the Resident Doctors Association. So all those things, lot of activities. And what it taught me was priceless. This medical college did not just make me a doctor. It did not just give me the medical education. Because when you are going through that process, you start to have a much deeper understanding about life, death, and human behavior. I think that gives a very different perspective to your understanding of overall functioning of the world and overall way in which you are going to handle the world. My writing journey in Marathi started earlier because, as I told you, I was coming from a Marathi medium school. That was my mother tongue. It came naturally to me. And I started writing first on the college notice board and magazine. Then after graduating and post-graduating from my college, I started getting opportunities to write in the newspapers and magazines. And then through those writings came my books. So this was my first book, Gaye Lata, Gaye Lata. It came in 1996. And this looked at Indian melody queen Lata Mangeshkar's musical journey in a different way, because this is not a biography. It's an analysis of her musical career composer-wise. Means right from the first composer who gave her the milestone songs to the last composer, that kind of a breakdown I had it in mind, and I did that, analyzing that chemistry one by one. The second book came in 1999, which was called Dr. Key. This was about my experiences as a medical resident and medical student. This was written in the form of short stories and essays. Then in 2001, I was back to the film music theme, writing about 4 other great singers of Hindi film music, Kishore Kumar, Asha Bhosle, Mukesh and Mohammad Rafi. And that is just about the way it happened in Marathi. But in between, something else was happening. There was an unexpected turn to my writing career and the way I was thinking as a writer. And that was brought about by one magical thing, internet. Your generation has been practically born and brought up with internet, but for us, this transition has happened in a way where we can really appreciate, because I come from an era where we started listening to the radios, then saw black and white TVs come, then colored TV, then computers, then internet and mobiles and these gadgets. So each stage, each step was appreciated by us, that this is giving us something new to explore, and it is giving us wings like never before. So when internet came in my life, English writing also started becoming one of my habits. I started first writing just on the news groups, and then out of that internet writing, suddenly one thing happened, that again I was writing on the stuff that I loved the most, that I was talking about movies that I liked, the movie songs that we appreciated, about the artists that we enjoyed. And somehow that writing got noticed. One of the well-wishers, who was a journalist himself, he recommended my name. And one fine day I got an email in my inbox saying that, Doctor, would you like to write a music review column for our newspaper? It came from a major newspaper from UAE. And I was taken aback, because new music was not really my area of specialization, or neither I looked at it too fondly, because I have always been above classic things. But I said that this offers me an opportunity, a platform, and I should not let it go. So I said, okay, I'll do that. I still remember that first cassette cover. It showed one of the famous heroines jumping up, and it had some pop kind of songs. So I started writing. Those days the cassettes used to come to the newspaper offices. So after 2 weeks of writing those reviews, which they had given me a column and column space and told me, okay, you write it. 2 weeks passed, I finished off the cassettes which were sent to me, and then the third week, before only, the editor sent me an email saying that now we don't have any more cassettes left. So I asked him, okay, you have the column space to fill, so let me write something there. So he said, okay, give it a try. And then I wrote my first article. I wrote on one of the artists that I admire, Mohammad Rafi. It happened to be his death anniversary, and I wrote the first piece. It so happened that that writing started getting eyeballs. It started getting appreciated. Slowly my column length started increasing. The editor started getting more confident of what I had to offer. Then they offered me again a chance to write on parenting and child health also, along with film music. So I was writing 2 columns for them for almost 3 years. After 3 years, that policy of that paper changed. Again, I was without any platform to write. I was wondering, now what am I going to do? And then the rival newspaper offered me the same space. So there, the journey became even more colorful because that platform offered me a chance to do many more things apart from just writing the reviews. I started writing feature articles, I started writing interviews, I even attended the film festivals and did their reports for them. So all this finally gave me the confidence that okay, this kind of writing is being appreciated by people, and now I have it in me that I can write even books in English. So this was my first English book. This is Right Parenting, a book on right parenting and child health advice. When this book was published, many people felt a little relieved because they felt that finally this fellow has come out of his frivolous pastime of films and film songs and finally writing something serious. In fact, my mother-in-law was one of them. But I again came back. So this was my last book up till now. So this was one of the major projects, one of the dream projects of my life, because this was a much more advanced version, much more advanced analysis of the singer's career and her socio-cultural impact on India. And this was, finally I was fortunate to have found corporate support, and they made this book into a great lavish coffee table style book. And this book then got me the maximum appreciation and acclaim. The book was released in Dubai. Then I was fortunate to get it released even in Mauritius. Then again last year it was honored in a special function. So coming to this point in my writing career, I would like to share some of the things that make a writer. Why does one become a writer? I feel that the writer writes because he has that inexplicable urge to tell you something. That telling something may be new, or it may be just the old thing that the person wants to tell it in a new format or a new kind of a word. So there are struggles in this kind of journey. First thing is obviously finding a publisher who is believing in you, to find your article butchered by a sleeping sub-editor, to receive criticism whether it is fair or unfair, and finally to get paid for what you have written. But when you overcome this kind of a struggle, then you get a lot of joys also. Just to see your byline on your piece is one of them. To hold your book in your hand for the first time is a magical experience. To read that first positive review in a major newspaper, or getting compliments from a complete stranger. And finally, obviously, getting your royalty check. And I have been fortunate that as a writer, there have been special perks. I have been able to meet the people whom I have idolized, really legendary artists like Lata Mangeshkar, Amitabh Bachchan, Devanand, Asha Bhosle, Amir Khan. And I don't think this opportunity I would have got if I had just remained a doctor. So now I would like to just share a secret with you, that first why I started writing in the first place on the college notice board. I don't think that any of you must be trying it out that, but I did that for my love. Because I was writing love poems. I was writing it for my would-be wife. Of course, I didn't know that, but I wanted her to be. So the greatest reward I can say that as a writer is my family. And if I have to give you a take-home message from whatever my journey has been, if a small town guy who first learnt English alphabets in the 5th class can do it, then you certainly can. If you want, you can. So go for it without any fear and make a difference. Thanks.